Alright, we should be live. I'm gonna get the audio output capture set up here. I haven't done a YouTube stream more than once, so I figured, why not? Yeah. Let's get this pulled up here. I'm gonna make sure that everything's set up. Yeah. So, should be open. It is not. Okay. Where's my window capture? There it is. Okay. Good shit. Okay. And then we just put it under here. Make everything smaller. Make sure to get everything set up. Alright. Oh, and it's coming through my speaker still. Okay.
The following program is rated TV-MALV. It contains strong language and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Let's check the levels on this. I gotta pull up chat anyway. Alright. So. Oh, no, don't be playing copyrighted shit.
And now they've even added an encyclopedia.
I do my shopping at home, pay my bills.
And I can learn something new.
Prodigy now has a 21-volume electronic...
BVN's the only place to see Remington Steel.
Alright, are we good?
This morning, an earthquake at 4:31 West Coast time. Strong, jolting, and rumbling the coastal coast of Southern California.
I also have
No.
to begin this special report that what you're about to see almost defies description, and some of you may not want to watch it.
49 people in one house dead, and no one can explain why.
It appears we are not good.
A minute. Bear with
It
me.
appears we are not good.
It'll take a long time to get things back in shape. Some fear it never will.
Think I need to maybe set this a little higher, just to make sure. Alright, I need him to start talking.
The year is 2020.
Okay, are we good?
A woman and her husband move into a duplex,
Okay, are we
sharing a
good?
home with two
Nah, it's still
an
super
elderly
quiet.
woman and her adult daughter.
Let's try now.
For the first few months, nothing seems out of the ordinary. In fact, they never see them, and not once do they interact.
Okay.
At least, until
Going to full screen. See how that looks. Alright, yeah, we're good.
this begins seemingly out of nowhere and appears to have no end in sight. Every single time they do this, their dog freaks out, causing their newborn to cry and causing the banging to only become worse. It's a constant back and forth dynamic, and things are quickly spiraling out of control. The cops aren't doing anything, the landlord is no help,
That's
And
fucked
so,
up.
at their wits' end, they take to Reddit.com to air out their grievances
Oh yes,
and to
Reddit.
seek advice. At 11:09 p.m. on September 13th of 2020, a Redditor named Peaches and Glitter ventures to r/legal advice to make a post titled, "Delusional neighbor bangs on the shared wall when our baby cries, and nothing can be done about it?"
Well, I mean, it's a
It
baby.
reads the following.
Don't know what they wanted us to do
I
about
live in a
that.
duplex in Washington State with my husband and my son, who is only a few months old.
Okay.
My father-in-law owns half the duplex and is renting it to us, and the other half is owned by an older woman and her adult daughter. My father-in-law has known the women for over 15 years and told us before we moved in that the daughter was mentally ill and had strong delusions on occasion that caused trouble with the previous tenants.
Type shit,
The last tenants
mentally
apparently had to get
ill
a civil
squad.
anti-harassment order placed against the daughter, but eventually moved out when the behaviors never stopped. Apparently, the neighbor accused them of kidnapping and abusing their children, and even abusing their dogs.
Oh, that's kind of fucked
My
up.
husband and I brought our son home a few months ago, and we didn't have any issues with the neighbor until about 2 weeks ago. She has begun banging on and throwing things at the walls when our son cries. She screams at us as well, but I usually can't hear what she's actually saying.
Alright, I'm gonna turn off
You
the,
know, over the screaming baby, and the two
Closed
dogs going
captions.
absolutely ballistic because of the banging. It's absolute chaos, and it's made my postpartum anxiety so much worse. Every time the baby cries, I experience intense panic, waiting for the screaming and banging to start. We've called the non-emergency police line twice when I can't handle it anymore, and the first time they talked to her, and she stopped doing it as often. Maybe once every 2 days.
Okay.
Tonight, though, she's back at it, and worse than ever. The air quality is so bad right now from the fires that I can't let the dogs
Shit,
out for
dude.
long to stop them from barking. And the barking makes the baby cry harder, which makes the neighbor scream and pound on the walls harder. The officer I spoke with says we can try to get a civil anti-harassment order placed, but he knew for a fact that her behaviors never stopped after the last tenants tried that, and he said his unofficial advice would be to live somewhere else.
Shit.
Is that seriously my only option? We can't
Sounds
leave
like
the
it,
room,
dude.
but
That's
I can't keep living
shitty.
like this.
News alert,
Unfortunately,
she
this
killed,
post was
like,
largely unseen
5,000
by anyone
people.
online, merely generating 40 upvotes in just 10 comments.
Damn.
One user named Lifeguard Ill suggested that the neighbor was merely banging on their wall because they were sick of the noise she was making. She's an owner, so you can't do anything. Your best solution is to properly insulate the wall against sound. From the other point of view, having a newborn baby in a shared dwelling is really shitty to your neighbors from the noise. Just as much as you don't like the pounding, your neighbors hate your crying noises and dogs barking. Maybe your neighbors can't handle the crying anymore. You should really look into soundproofing, or your neighbor could start calling animal control and CPS for all the noise you make. Stop blaming the neighbor when you're the one making all the noise.
Man, what the fuck?
It's an interesting thought process. However, the perspective is entirely valid. They are responsible for half of this duplex.
You
and
did
there's
this.
really not much they can do about their distaste for a neighbor. As a matter of fact, that was largely the sentiment of those who did see her post. There is nothing she can do. And
Obviously, you're the one making all the noise, you
was left at that.
fucking asshole. I like whoever wrote that comment. Oh shit. Get the other headphone in.
first post never got much attention, but the outcome was pretty wild. Short version. In October of 2020, my husband and I were renting in a duplex, where my father-in-law owned the half that we lived in, and a separate family owned the other half. We brought our son home from the NICU in August, and towards the end of September, the neighbor started to pound on the shared wall if she could hear him cry. The pounding escalated over the next 2 months. The neighbor bought a megaphone to yell through the wall and threatened to rip us apart. She called us child predators, and she'd yell obscenities and threats
Child
until 3 or
predators is
4 in the morning.
fucked up.
The police were called multiple times, yet nothing could be done about it. One officer told us, "I'm gonna kill you." See, it doesn't mean anything if I don't actually do it. The elderly mother hadn't
That's
been seen in
crazy.
several months, but requests for wellness checks were brushed off. The general advice that I got was that as renters, we couldn't do anything. It was also suggested that this was reasonable behavior since the crying baby...
Oh, yeah, calling them child predators was great.
Since my first post, we moved in with my grandmother. for our
Perfectly
safety.
reasonable.
The neighbor ended up busting a softball-sized hole through the shared wall to scream at us and occasionally just stare at us. The smell that came out of the hole was indescribably bad. Our security cameras recorded her coming to my son's nursery window at around 2 a.m. almost daily, just staring and holding her cat.
That's really fucking
It took
creepy.
until the end of January for the police to be able to enter her property. And as it turned out, the elderly mother had been deceased since at least June, and the daughter had the corpse dressed in her Sunday best, rotting in a dead-bolted bedroom. The news article said the mother died from natural causes, and the daughter was taken to an inpatient
That
psychiatric
is...
facility.
That's fucked. That's fucking wild.
I would be remiss if I didn't state the obvious, that fabricating stories online happens all the time and is remarkably simple to pull off.
True that.
In the current online landscape, it almost seems like fake stories outweigh real ones by a large margin, incentivized by online notoriety in the pursuit of upvotes. There was something about this one, though, that seemed eerily specific. The premise was haunting, yet it seemed entirely legitimate.
Yeah. Oh, it was, wasn't it, dude? Richland, Washington,
In
January
January of 2021, authorities in the city of Richland, Washington, made their way to the home of Peaches and Glitter in response to their 911 call. While there, they encounter a disgruntled 45-year-old woman named Angela Greiner through the hole she carved in their shared wall, and immediately notice an overwhelming odor.
Oh, dear God.
Because of this, they request to be let in to ensure everything there is okay, yet Greiner staunchly refused. For over a week, she wouldn't let a single soul in, no matter how hard law enforcement tried. However, what she was unaware of was that police were already in the process of obtaining a warrant, essentially permitting them access, regardless of her consent.
True that.
By February 4th, their warrant's granted, and so Richland PD returns and forces their way inside.
Oh.
And as expected from the revolting odor, the corpse of Greiner's mother, a 67-year-old woman named Claudia Kinney, was rotting inside their locked bedroom. She reportedly died from pulmonary emphysema and was believed to have been decomposing inside that home for nearly 7 months.
7 months?
As stated by the OP, Greiner was taken to an inpatient psychiatric facility, and since
Dear
then,
God.
there have been no further updates on her status or whereabouts. The duplex, to this day, still stands, yet now bears a reputation forever haunted by the grim events that took place there. The story in its entirety drives home the fact that you truly never know who's beside you,
Okay,
who's
but
across from you,
was
who is on the other
this
side
confirmed to
of
be
the
the
wall as you
actual
sleep. For months,
the actual
this family
lady?
was unknowingly going about their daily lives with the human corpse just feet away from them and completely unaware that their neighbor was living alongside it.
I see that smoke
At the
alarm.
end of
Better
it all,
change those
Pages
batteries.
and Glitter just wanted a home for their family. A place their newborn could grow up happily.
That's
Yet,
fucked.
little did they know what they were getting into. And what was waiting for them on the other side.
Hell no, dude. Y'all gotta be careful about who you live next to and shit. Like, I don't know, just research the area a little bit, cause that's just fucking wild. 7 months, her dead mother was in that house. Oh, that's fucking terrifying, dude.
Leave the 911 lines open for real alerts. For anything else, or directory assistance.
I'm gonna guess this is some sort of like arson case.
Before you call 911. Before you call 911. Before you call 911.
That's what I'm guessing anyway. Florida 2018, Polk County.
It's evening in Polk County, Florida. A 76-year-old woman named Loretta Pickard is home alone, asleep on her couch. She had just undergone hip surgery, so she was unable to move.
Oof.
However, her evening was just like any other.
Y'all gotta be careful about that.
It's cold out.
I know a lot of people
and
get
there
hooked
are
on like
rests
pain
in
pills and
nation's
stuff
state
after they get
of
surgery.
tranquility.
So if you guys ever have surgery, just be careful. Am I gonna get copyrighted for this?
At 7 p.m., Loretta notices that something is wrong. The smell of smoke awakes her. However, because she's disabled, she's unable to check what's causing it. During this, her husband was away with their grandkids, so she was effectively helpless in place.
Oh, that's...
Meanwhile, the smell persists. Something is on fire.
Oh,
And so she grabs
shit.
her phone, dials 911,
Yeah, it must have
and
been
explains to
arson.
dispatch the following.
Oh, shit, they got the actual recording? Okay. Depicts Loretta's final moments. You like this? Nah. Let's hear it.
What is the address of your emergency?
Pardon?
911, what is the address of your emergency? Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I think my house is on fire. And I'm here alone, and I'm on a walker.
Okay.
Shit, dude.
All right, I have a couple more. I just have a couple of questions, okay?
Okay.
All right, just to help the the firefighters.
They're so laid back about this. This poor old lady, dude.
These questions are not going to delay paramedics in any way. Okay, what type of building is involved?
It's a log house with a tin roof.
Shit.
Coming from the roof, I think. I don't know.
Okay, I have help on the way, okay? These questions are not delaying the firefighters at all, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, I do have them coming. All right, I'm sending the fire department to help you now. Stay on the line, and I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
What should I do?
Okay, is anyone trapped inside the building?
Yes, her, dude.
Well, I'm inside the house. I don't even know if I can get out.
Okay.
Oh, shit, dude.
I have them coming as quickly as possible, okay? How many?
Is it me?
Okay.
I mean, my husband's at the ball game, and I can't get him. I'll try his cell phone.
Okay, exactly where are you located? No, inside the home. Exactly where are you located inside the home?
Right now, I'm in the living room. The smoke's getting bad.
Okay, if it's safe to do so, leave the building, close the doors behind you, and remain outside. Do not try to put the fire out. Do not carry anything. Do not carry out anything that's on fire.
Couldn't, honey, if I wanted to. I'm on a walker, and I can't hardly walk.
Okay. All right, well, I do have them coming as quickly as possible. Okay, so just let me know when you see them. Okay, where exactly is the fire?
I don't hear a smoke alarm going off. Where is this lady's smoke alarm?
Okay, is anyone injured?
No, I'm the only one here. I'm not injured, but my eyes are full of smoke. Lungs, I can't get out the door.
Okay.
Shit, dude.
Okay.
This is
Okay, I have them coming, okay?
actually
Put your
disturbing.
flashing lights and sirens, okay?
Okay.
This back and forth continues for 15 agonizing minutes. Yet for this entire duration, help never seemed to come. Nevertheless, the fire seems to be growing. Where is everyone?
Oh, I see fire now.
Okay.
Are you here for the
Yes, they're here. They're there. I'm letting them know exactly what's going on, okay? They are there.
Okay.
I promise they are right there. Just they have to make their way into you, okay?
Okay, but they better run.
Shit. Is that making... Is...
Okay, stay on the line with me, okay? What's your husband's name?
God, dude.
Hello? Hello?
This is fucked.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
This sound, the sound of flames engulfing the Pickard home, continues for 9 minutes straight, with the dispatcher reassuring her the entire time that help is on the way. Little did they know, though, that on the other end of the line, there was no longer anyone there to hear it. Loretta Pickard, in this moment, and contrary to all assurances by dispatch, had perished in the fire.
Oh, dude. That's so fucked up. Is that the actual... That's so fucked up.
You wouldn't believe it, but for over half of this phone call, help was just a few short feet away. Firefighters were outside when she was alive and had every opportunity to save her.
But didn't?
That evening, there were unfortunately no fire hydrants anywhere near the residence, so the crew was left to utilize the reserves in their truck. Instead of putting out the house fire with Loretta trapped inside, however, the crew's captain, James Williams, used the entirety of the reserves to combat what he described as a forest fire behind the home. This, by default, nullified any potential of combating the blaze's origin, diminishing any possibility of saving Loretta.
There's no fucking shot. I would sue the fuck out of them. That is so fucked
And
up.
a case 8 on your side has been investigating all year long. Loretta Pickard died in her burning Lakeland home, pleading for help, but firefighters stood by and did nothing about it. Well, now her estate will receive the maximum amount of money allowed under state law.
Good.
Your side, Stacy DeSilva reports from Polk County.
Loretta Pickard's niece tells me the settlement does provide.
Since the incident, the Pickard family has undergone a grueling legal battle against the county, as in the weeks following the fire, it's been revealed that James Williams would frequently take Snapchat videos while at the scene of house fires. And allegedly, the evening of Loretta's death was no different. Even further, it's been stated by bystanders that little to no effort was made to get inside the home either, effectively leaving her helpless and alone to endure one of the most horrific deaths imaginable.
That is so fucked up.
In the aftermath of this incident, the Pickard family has been given a $200,000 settlement from Polk County in response to their inaction. On top of this, James Williams has since been fired, and a void of heartbreak, loss, and despair has been eternally left in their wake.
That's so fucked up, dude.
No matter how much money, how much action is and has been taken after this incident, nothing in the world can bring back a family member who lost their life during a moment of desperation. It was the day after Thanksgiving, a time engulfed in positivity. However, for the Pickard family, this day will forever be remembered as the last that they would ever spend with her.
Dude.
That fateful night, Loretta's husband James lost the love of his life. Their grandkids left a loving home that
This
they
shit
would
gonna
never
make
return
me
to,
cry, bro.
and their entire family had unknowingly said their final goodbyes to their beloved grandmother that they would never see again.
That's so fucked up. Dude.
Do not hang around the restrooms. And if you see any of your playmates about to get into trouble,
get help from a police officer or someone you know. You not only have to look out for yourself, but for the little children who don't know it.
The audio is so fucking freaky.
Some people are sick in the mind.
What the fuck? Hell no.
In 2018, a YouTube channel was born. It's named Vera Coroteva, and over the span of less than 1 year, they'd upload over 1.4 thousand videos to the platform. Within them, we're able to observe the inside of an apartment occupied by what seems to be a
I'm gonna
family.
make my webcam
And to be honest,
smaller.
not a whole lot seems to happen. They spend a ton of time watching TV and lounging around. And at first glance, it seems like this channel might be nothing more than an archival page run by them. Now, this would make sense. However, there's one small problem. This isn't Vera's only camera.
What? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Oh, so she got like full home surveillance type shit.
This channel, Vera Koroteva, is likely run by not the tenants, but their landlord. And they've got eyes everywhere.
Oh, hell no. I think I'll pass, Pookie.
Taking a look at the details of Vera's videos presents some eccentric discoveries. For instance, their titles regularly reference names like Putin and Hitler, and often use incredibly abrasive language when referring to their residents and the police. Furthermore, in their descriptions, they can also be found going off about useless drunkards, housing the disabled, and something about smoke. But out of everything, the video that really made me realize that something is off here came with their upload from the 26th of October 2019.
Okay.
It's simply titled Water Supply Repair, and at first glance, it seems ordinary. Upon translating the description, though, we find this.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I've tried to read through this multiple times to glean any sort of logical flow in their wording, but it doesn't make much sense at all. From what I could gather, though, Vera seems to be furious at a judge. They then go forth to discuss legal documents that I believe they requested, and then fantasize about killing them by cutting the judge's throat with a razor.
Oh, that's fucked.
It's incredibly disconcerting. And
yeah.
regardless if the tenants even know that they're being watched, what I do know is that they are, without a doubt, completely unaware of what's going on in these descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
For over 4 years, this bizarre channel has sat like this, completely untouched and unnoticed by the broader internet. With this, their backlog spanning thousands of videos are public, documenting complete strangers living out their daily lives without even the slightest hint that the very
Dude, that's
person
actually
who owns the
so
building they live
fucking
in
creepy.
is broadcasting them to the world.
No thanks, Pookie.
Today, Vera Koroteva stands as an eerie look into the incredibly bizarre behavior of a peeping landlord.
All these say 4
It's
years
an
ago,
unsettling
though, so I
digital
think they
relic,
might have stopped.
hidden away inside the furthest confines of YouTube's darkest abyss.
How does he
I have
find this
absolutely
shit?
no idea what compelled this person to do this, and even more so, what caused them to abandon their project completely. If the upload rate wasn't enough, they appeared intensely dedicated to their cause, as not only were there security camera videos, but also uploads containing phone calls, conversations, and even trips to real-world locations. With the language barrier stopping me in my tracks, though, unfortunately, deciphering any of this has been ultimately futile.
Yeah.
By the off chance any of you watching can speak or understand Russian, I am incredibly interested to learn more about why this channel exists and what exactly they were doing. Who are these people, and why are they here? Why do the cops constantly pop in, and what are they looking for? Most importantly though, why the hell is all of this public? And who in the world is Vera Korateva?
God, that's fucking creepy, dude.
The goal of this video is to make you aware of the potential for differential pressure situations. The key is to
When it's
recognize
got
this
you,
beforehand
chapter 4.
and make sure you are prepared to deal with them. Because when it's gotcha, it's gotcha.
Stingrays, huh? Shit, we playing Undertale up in this bitch. The deep blue. Oh, just in the deep.
Back in February, we discussed the unquantifiable horrors of the ocean. Earth's greatest enigma. An entire biosphere not made for us. One of humanity's greatest mysteries has always been exploring the far reaches of the deep sea. And, in a way, much of what's in it is completely alien to us. The peculiar thing about the ocean is that it makes up the vast majority of the planet we live on, yet stands so painstakingly inaccessible to humanity. The potential for death, freak accidents, and disappearances are so exponentially high, all spawned entirely by the mere nature of the ocean's environmental medium. In February of 2022, 5 divers are commissioned by a fuel trading company named Peria to perform maintenance on an oil pipeline.
Okay.
Located at Punta Pier on the western coast of Trinidad and Tobago, the 30-inch wide pipe stretches from an oil riser named Berth 5, 60 feet vertically down into the ocean, 1,200 feet away from it, and 50 feet back up to the open sea under another oil riser named Berth 6. It was meant to allow ships to transport their reserves to Peria's facilities on land for processing. However, by this point, this particular pipeline was sealed off and hadn't been used since mid-2018. That day, the 5 men on the job were Faisal Kurban, Kazim Ali Jr., Rishi Nagasar, Yusuf Henry, and Christopher Budrum, and they were tasked with heading into an underwater, air-filled habitat at Berth 6, removing a steel cover from the pipe, removing an inflatable plug from inside of it, and installing a connector from the exposed pipe up to the main platform at the Berth 6 riser.
See,
first,
I don't fuck with
everything
the sea
seemed
to
be going
begin
plan.
with.
The crew makes
So
their
this
way
shit
inside
would
the
be my
aircraft
worst
chamber and
nightmare.
remove their scuba gear so they can effectively perform their work. While doing so, however, they notice that the inflatable plug sealing the pipe off isn't coming loose. No matter what they try, it appears to be stuck in place. And so, Kazim volunteers to head out to grab a tool to help with dislodging it.
Oh shit, this is... Is this real footage?
Upon heading back down to Berth 6's chamber, Kazim hands the tool off to one of his co-workers, who takes another crack at dislodging it. But what they're unaware of is that by doing this, they're unknowingly opening the door to a gargantuan difference in pressure, and would very soon find themselves in a dire predicament.
Immediately. Oh my god. All that water came flowing out, dude.
Right here, in but a fraction of a second, all 5 men and their equipment are sucked into the pipe, 50 feet down and over 120 feet horizontally through it. And without even a second to process what just happened, they are effectively trapped in a pitch-black cell underwater.
God, dude. God. They didn't have like communication equipment? I mean, I guess.
They scream for help. They have no idea what the hell just happened, but they're in excruciating pain, and they gotta get out of there.
Yeah.
In the next few moments, they collect their thoughts and orient themselves inside the pipe. They explain to each other their intent, who's behind who, and try to deduce which side of the pipe they're even facing. With hope quickly fading, Chris begins motivating his crew to try their hardest to get out of there, out of that hell they're stuck in. Even so, he proposes a plan to link hands with ankles and to inch their way out.
Okay.
It was a 50-50 shot that they'd be heading in the right direction, but at this point, it was one they were willing to take.
I mean, it's better to get out of there, or at least try to.
With no light source, no breathing equipment, no sense of direction, they begin to shuffle their way forward. In the beginning, it seems to be working. However, they quickly realize that sections of this pipe head down to a lower depth and have collected pools of water and oil.
Oh,
Were they to continue their plan, they'd be making their way through fully submerged sections of pipe. A proposition that, with no knowledge of how long it would go on for, was undoubtedly horrifying. With this revelation, Kazim, Rishi, and Yusuf decide to stay back. It's a risk that they just can't stomach, and so Chris reassures them that he'll return with help, and continues onward, with Faisal by his side.
okay.
In the following moments, Chris and Faisal encounter 2 scuba tanks lying in an air pocket.
Good shit.
They equip them and make their way through fully submerged, extended portions of pipe. For a while, they were making steady progress. However, on their journey, Faisal had come to an inconvenient revelation.
What?
He is excruciatingly exhausted and informs Chris that he simply can't continue. Chris proceeds. Onward and onward, not even sure if he's heading back to the correct opening. Nevertheless, he holds out hope as critical minutes blur by.
Did he make it out?
Until he finally encounters the pipe's bend.
He couldn't get through it, could he?
He looks up, and it's open. In complete disbelief, he begins to bang on the pipe, screaming and pleading for anyone to hear him. And by a complete miracle, outside its opening are two rescue divers who open it up, drop a chain down to him, and ultimately save his life.
Oh my god. Wait, no, 'cause the other dudes. Oh, dude.
But there's just one problem. Four men are still down there, still alive, and still need help. To his dismay, Chris is told that there's nothing that can be done about them. It's apparently too dangerous to send someone in there to get them, and essentially, all hope for their rescue is lost. In utter disbelief at what he's hearing, Chris even tries to head back in there himself, however, is ultimately prevented from doing so.
Why are these
For
all
3
sad,
excruciating
dude?
days, the remaining 4 divers are trapped in that pipe, begging and pleading for anyone to help them. Little did they know, though, that nobody was ever coming. Help was never on the way, and the men were, effectively, left to die.
R.I.P., bro. That is so fucked up.
As of writing, there's an ongoing legal battle between Peria, the Coast Guard, the contract company LMCS Limited that assigned them to the job, and the victims' families. Each of the accused passing off blame and responsibility for their inaction to a different party. No matter what ends up happening, though, I can only hope that the victims' families are given justice, as according to every report available, it seems that little to no effort was made by the companies or Coast Guard to save them. At all. The incident that occurred on that otherwise ordinary day is one of the most haunting freak accidents one could ever find themselves in. What began as an ordinary job had, out of nowhere, morphed into 3 days of absolute hell. I cannot even begin to fathom the feeling of being stuck in the dark, inside of a claustrophobic chamber 60 feet below sea level, and even more so, bearing the apprehensive hope they all held out for help that never came.
R.I.P.
Waterfront rooms, comfortable, spacious, and family-priced. The port of call. Gulfside pool, cable TV, volleyball, and if you stay for at least 3 days, you receive a vacation club card with over $100 in valuable discount.
Chapter 5.
Call now and ask about our special $49.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Out there with Walter White and Jesse Pinkman.
It's late at night, and a truck driver named Eduardo Cullen has just checked in to Super 8.
Okay. Super 8s are super fucking not great. We have one here in Arkansas, and they're shitty.
His night is unremarkable. It's about as ordinary as you can imagine. He cleans himself up, makes himself a hot meal, and just a couple hours later, falls deep into a much-deserved slumber.
Type shit.
Well, that's what should have happened.
That's not creepy at all.
It's been 2 days,
Oh,
and
shit.
Eduardo has not checked out. A security guard on duty is sent to check on him. However, a do not disturb placard adorns the handle, and the room is locked from the inside. No answer.
Eduardo, you in there, buddy?
Still nothing. He's not there, but it's locked. Suspecting that something is off, the guard manages to unlock the door and make his way in. And at first glance, this room is oddly ordinary. On the floor, the blankets lie haphazard. On the table, a handbag, a bracelet, a scale adorned with the name George Martinez, and a photograph appear left behind. Yet, once he makes his way to the room's rear and towards the bathroom, what awaits him is completely unexpected.
Oh dear God. I'm not liking where this is
Hanging
going.
by a suitcase strap, a badly decomposed woman stares down upon him.
Yeah.
And Eduardo is nowhere to be found.
Did he kill some chick?
You know, you would think that this photograph would make this woman's identification a breeze. However, reality has been quite the contrary. Police have since connected her likeness with the woman in the room, yet to this day, her identity remains exactly how it's been from the day she died. She is unknown, unidentified, a Jane Doe.
Those pictures are fucking terrifying.
After an autopsy, it was revealed that she had heroin in her system and had passed away by taking her own life. The evidence from the motel room, including the scale with George Martinez written on it, were their only real leads in tracking down her identity. However, frustratingly, nothing ever came from it. No witnesses, no footage, not even Eduardo.
God. That's fucked up.
It took 7 entire years before Eduardo's family was contacted by police, and coincidentally, they claimed that he had passed away not long beforehand. Upon being shown this mysterious photograph, however, they revealed that they didn't recognize him at all. This is not Eduardo, and they have never seen this man in their life.
Identity theft, dude. No. God, those pictures are fucking terrifying.
That day, an entirely new mystery was born. Not only was there ambiguity around the actions of Eduardo and this woman's identity, but now an unnamed male has entered the picture. As the years went on, leads on him were all but non-existent, and all they really had to go on was the connection to that scale. George Martinez was believed to be his identity. However, given how many George Martinezes are out there, tracking this guy down in the 1990s was all but impossible.
Yeah.
To this day, this mystery remains completely unsolved, barring one credible tip that authorities received in March of 2021. It's been rumored that her name was Becca and that she flew there from Los Angeles, California. Why she did this, who she came with, and how she wound up in a motel bathroom is still unclear. However, with the rise of the internet and breakthroughs in technology, perhaps someday her identity can come to light.
God, her face in that picture is just so fucking creepy. Scary shit. I'm not even gonna lie.
It is hauntingly mind-boggling that not a single soul on this earth has been able to identify this woman for over 30 years. Much like the case with Joanna Lopez, having such hard photographic evidence of someone, yet knowing absolutely nothing about who they actually are and what happened to them, is eerily perplexing. What took place on that fateful night may never be known, and to be honest, a lot of it doesn't even make sense. Eduardo was merely stopping for a place to stay, so how did he become so wrapped up in such a tangled web of mystery? Perhaps there was more to this story, something that he wasn't letting on. However, given that he's since passed away, that question will painfully remain unanswered. If you know of or recognize anything about this woman, I implore you to reach out to the Albuquerque PD with information. This is an absolute Hail Mary. However, someone on this earth has to know something about her. For all I know, this case might not go anywhere anytime soon. But keeping stories like this relevant and in the public eye, in my opinion, that is the key to closure. A neighbor with a grim secret. A life lost through inaction. A peeping landlord spying on unsuspecting tenants. A claustrophobic nightmare. And a mind-bending mystery lasting for over 30 years. Tonight, you and I dove into 5 disturbing things from around the internet. It's been a long couple years, I know, but I promise you this series is back. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for your love and support.
Dude,
Throughout
that's
the
fucking
years, you guys have
crazy.
stuck by me, and that truly means the world to me. With that said, if
That
you guys
last
have
one
any
is-
submissions for this series, any disturbing audio, footage, events, anything, feel free to submit them to the show's Dropbox at dtfaisubmissions@gmail.com. Once again, that's dtfaisubmissions@gmail.com. Thank you all again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I love you all. And good night.
Thank you, Nexpo. I think after this one, probably gonna end stream. Been streaming for about right at an hour now. And it's 1 in the morning.
Happy Halloween! Wow, what a fun week this has been exploring all these marathon topics with you. This has been an absolute blast. And hey, I was thinking, what better way to bring this to a close while concurrently celebrating the greatest holiday of the year than presenting to you yet another installment of my favorite series on the channel. Welcome back, my friends, to Disturbing Things from Around the Internet. If you're new, this is my series that dives into bite-sized and disturbing internet events and mysteries in a list-like format.
Okay.
It's time, on this Halloween night, to dive into 5 more hand-picked and disturbing things from around the internet.
Not to obey the walrus in the background. Fucking creepy ass.
Back in
lady.
August, a strange event took the internet by storm. Peculiar footage was captured during the early morning of August 24th. According to a Facebook post, at 3:20 in the morning, a resident in the Sunrise Ranch subdivision in Montgomery, Texas, was awakened by their doorbell. After reviewing their home video surveillance, they observed and attached the following video and images. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office was alerted and is currently investigating the suspicious incident. The footage that they captured was this.
Oh, I've seen this. She was probably drunk.
Everyone was on immediate alert. If the odd timing being so late in the night isn't enough to alarm you, then the shackles that seem to be attached to her wrists just might.
Oh shit, I don't think I've
We
seen
were dead asleep in our
this.
beds. My husband was awoken by the doorbell. It rang probably 20 to 30 times, one nearby resident claimed. The woman, wearing only a t-shirt and no shoes, seemed at the time to have vanished into thin air. Nobody was able to immediately track her down, and so a massive search had commenced for this mystery girl. What happened to her? Why was she crying? And why was she ringing the doorbell so many times at 3:20 in the morning? On August 29th, another incident occurred in the very same subdivision. A man would take his life by suicide. This was Dennis Collins, and a suicide note that was left behind by him had confirmed that this mystery girl on the surveillance footage was in fact his girlfriend. According to a statement by Montgomery County Police, she was indeed a domestic violence victim, and according to her, the night she was out ringing doorbells, she was in great fear for her own safety. She is safe and is helping police in the ongoing investigation. However, the takeaway from this is that this could be happening to anyone, even those that live right beside you.
Yeah. Trapped.
A post was made in the Ask Reddit sub, asking everyone what post was the creepiest that they've ever found on Reddit. While there were many notable responses, one in particular stuck out to me from a user by the name of Killing Spear X. They said this: "I don't know where the post is, but I'm sure many Redditors came across it already. It was about a mother who was pushing her baby on a swing at night. When people approached her, they found out that the baby had been dead for hours and that the mother had some sort of mental breakdown or something." One notable response to this came from a user by the name of El Chapo's cousin, who claimed that either this is a lie or the area she lived in has the shittiest healthcare in America.
That's fucked.
In response to this, someone quoted them and said, "Apparently the latter, because this actually did happen," with a link to a news article. In Maryland, a 3-year-old boy was in fact dead due to being pushed in a swing for upwards of 43 hours. According to authorities, he was alive when his mother began pushing him in a swing on May 20th, 2015, and had remained in this very same seat for 2 days while his mother pushed him until May 22nd at 6:55 a.m. when he and his hysterical mother were found by police. The mother, allegedly, had a psychotic episode during this and unfortunately did not know what was happening for those 2 agonizing days. Since the original homicide, no charges have been filed, and the mother has since sought treatment for her bipolar disorder and depression.
That's fucked up.
43 hours. Sit back and think about this for a second. This children's swing was a death trap for this little boy, and the sheer thought of what he endured, initially thinking that it was going to be a fun and exciting time at the park, then becoming tired of the fun, then becoming thirsty, then realizing Mom isn't stopping. For hours and hours and hours, until it was over. I can only imagine the haunting scene of an oblivious mother pushing the corpse of her own son in a swing. And I really don't know how I'd react if I were ever to stumble upon such a sight in real life.
Yeah, dude. Karen Waldegrave, or Waldegrave, I don't know.
Last year, I made a video that included the phenomenon of the Yay video games.
Yay
Reddit
video
account that
games.
exhibited seemingly ordinary behavior.
Always on
before
DRM.
Switch seemed to flip, causing their comments to spiral endlessly into obscurity.
Yeah.
In 2011, a user on Facebook by the name of Karen Catherine Waldegrave would exhibit strikingly similar behavior. Karen, being a seemingly ordinary Facebook account, would, out of nowhere, begin posting nonsensical and unnerving ramblings that seemed to gather widespread attention from across the internet. According to her profile, she was born in London and allegedly graduated from the University of Toronto with a PhD. She has quite a few ordinary posts, which makes this entire phenomenon that much more puzzling. On May 23rd, at around 6:30 p.m., a switch would seem to flip from within her, resulting in her replying to her own statuses over and over and over. Even stranger, the posts that she would make would be entirely out of context, and it would seem as if she's having a full conversation with herself. Statuses, shared photos, and everything else that she posted would then accumulate comment after comment after comment, and it got so bad that she sent approximately 700 replies to herself in the short span of just 12 hours. At times, there were paragraphs of nonsensical text sent within moments of each other, and it's been widely speculated that Karen simply did this for some sort of attention, or to troll with the help of either a bot or script that would do this for her. After all, she allegedly has a PhD. For all we know, she very well could have done just that.
That's true.
Since the attention that she's gotten, her strange case has largely faded into internet history as none other than someone with schizophrenia or a simple troll. Solved, right?
I don't know if I
Well,
like
not
that,
so
though.
fast. It seems that, to this very day, there's still something going on with her, and I can't quite put my finger on precisely what that is. This is Karen Waldegrave today. This account seems to be a newer one of hers and still exhibits the same strange and bizarre behavior of her original account. Oddly, the page seems to be named differently, however, it still appears to be the same person.
Oh.
The pictures match up almost perfectly, and her education and location information seems to be an exact replica of what was shown on her original account. Now, why in the world would a troll be doing this? 7 years later. We can notice here that she seems to upload many images of herself, and these, ultimately, would be nearly impossible to replicate. As
That's
someone who's
true.
graduated with a PhD, being seemingly well off and ordinary, why would she have any sort of need to still reply to herself with not only obscure text, but randomized links to various websites and YouTube videos? In her posts, we could see direct references to scientific works and writings, and, out of context, these seem to be completely normal. Until we realize that these are all being posted within seconds of each other.
It's a
Furthermore,
bot.
There's always just one person that likes each of her statuses and posts, and as you might have guessed, these are all coming from her. With just 9 Facebook friends, for all we know, this could still be the work of either a bot or a troll. The strikingly fast and almost randomized posts that come from her directly support this. However, with the
No, she
pictures and
actually
photos
just
that
has
line up
all
directly
of
with her
these,
original account to the T, it's extremely
in
hard
her-
to discount the very idea
in her
that
notes
something more
app,
obscure
and she
could be
just
going on with her to
copy
this
and
very
paste
day.
all of them. Like, what the fuck? Tragedy of Adrian Jones? That sounds familiar.
This 4th entry was only recently sent to me,
Yeah.
and while it isn't necessarily an internet mystery, I couldn't help but include this heartbreaking tragedy.
This is the one
In
where they made
2015,
him, like,
police were
drink
called to a home in Kansas City, Kansas,
really
regarding a
fucked
domestic
up
dispute.
water and shit.
Upon arrival, a
And
woman
they
would
left
tell
him
them
in a
that if they looked
pool.
around the property, they'd find the remains of a child by the name of Adrian Jones. Adrian's short life was
Or
spent
maybe.
isolated from outsiders inside of a mice-infested house where he was under the guise of, quote, homeschooling with his 6 siblings. His father and stepmother endlessly abused him, forcing him into sadistic acts of torture.
Yeah.
The father and stepmother subjected him to eating scraps of moldy food out of the trash, leaving him tied up and submerged in a dirty swimming pool for hours
Yep.
at a time, beating him, strangling him, and leaving him
This was
consistently
so
bloody and
fucked
cut.
up.
Even worse, the parents documented everything with surveillance cameras placed all over the house in an effort to document their acts of torture. The footage and images were only ever discovered due to Jen Hovers, their landlord, whom was given access to the killer's iCloud account by Heather Jones, Adrian's stepmother, who was directly involved in the maltreatment. Hovers accessed the account in hopes of finding pictures for Adrian's funeral. However, when she looked through what was on the account, she found much, much more than she'd bargained for. In it were videos and photo after photo of Adrian's deteriorating health, and many of these shots came from direct surveillance footage, where he's referred to simply as the boy. It's believed that the killers were proud of their sadistic acts and enjoyed documenting Adrian's afflicted life. This is just one of those things that I hardly have any words for. The 7-year-old's short life came to an end in late 2015. His killers left him to starve to death while tied up inside of a shower stall. This, unbelievably, gets even worse though. To rid of the body, the abusers resorted to dismembering him and left his remains in a livestock pen, where pigs proceeded to feed on them. The heartbreaking thing about this entire endeavor is that there was a suspicion of activity going on. The landlord had the suspicion for quite a while, and this likely stemmed from the fact that, now prepare for this, Adrian did tell investigators that he was being abused years prior. According to an article by KansasCity.com, Adrian told authorities in a 2013 interview how his father would kick him so hard in the back of the head that a little bone came out. My daddy keeps hitting me in the head and punches me in the stomach, and my mom keeps pulling on my ears and it really hurts. He tried to make a plea for his life. However, that, unfortunately, didn't seem to help.
God,
His father and
what is
stepmother,
up with all this
Michael and Heather
sad
Jones,
shit,
have
dude?
since been sentenced to life in prison with no chance for parole.
Good.
And his grandmother, whom had no idea that any of this was happening, has spoken out, absolutely devastated. Adrian Jones never deserved any of this, and it's completely heartbreaking to read about this tragedy that befell him. In some images, you're able to see him wearing a shirt that says tough guy. And you know what? This absolutely holds true. Adrian is a tough guy. Nobody deserves that title more than him, and I can only hope that he's since found the solace that's been overwhelmingly overdue for him.
One missed call.
This last entry comes from a user on Reddit by the name of Demeter of New. About 5 months ago, they made a post in the RBI subreddit claiming that their significant other had gotten a new phone, and for the first time ever, she now has visual voicemail. After receiving a voicemail from a family member that day, she realized that she had several others that she'd missed. According to the post, she started going through her voicemails, typical stuff, family, bill collectors, but one voicemail dated Friday, June 9th, 2017 at 4:38 p.m. was from a number that we do not know. It's 3 minutes long, and the area code is 480, placing the owner around the Phoenix, Arizona Valley. I've spent all day researching news where their incidents happened the afternoon of June 9th, 2017, and have exhausted my very limited research abilities. The voicemail that Demeter received was this.
What is happening? Can't tell if it's a kid or a woman.
The OP then went forth to give an edit, claiming that the voicemail was dated a year prior. Phoenix police will be contacted, and that they've *67 the number, which merely led them to a generic voicemail greeting. A few very interesting theories have been given regarding the origins of this voicemail. A user by the name of Satellite Cookie seems to have dissected it quite well, and gave the hypothesis that the woman involved may not have even known that the phone was there. They claim that she seemed to have been screaming into her surroundings rather than into the phone, and a butt dial is genuinely possible here. The theories that they gave were that she was 1. Kidnapped and hurt. However, the weapon was not blunt enough to knock her out. She seemed to be fully conscious. However, the possibility is there that she had just woken up and realized the situation that she was in, with panic ensuing. Regarding the phone, either she was able to break free to one, it was hers, the kidnappers, or potentially another victim's. Another theory has been given by a user named Sojo3. When Satellite Cookie mentioned that it didn't sound anything like a mental breakdown, they chimed in claiming that they work at a psychiatric hospital and that this absolutely sounds like an episode that could have happened with one of their patients. Sidetracking here, if we take a look at Demeter's post history, it doesn't appear that they were using a throwaway account, and also doesn't seem like they were doing this for any sort of attention. With this in mind, the possibility that this is a hoax or attempt at an ARG are slim. However, an odd red flag here is that they never proceeded to give any sort of valuable follow-up or proof of call history. Many
the
are
problem
still
is
awaiting
you
this,
you
and it
can't
really
really
puts the
fake
story
some
up in
shit
limbo.
like that.
The very fact that we have absolutely no idea whether this is definitively real or fake is what makes this story eerie. Either this is a hoax, someone had a genuine mental breakdown, or there really is someone out there that was captured without ever being able to escape. The internet is no stranger to obscure and disturbing phenomena, and tonight was a direct exhibition of that. Thank you for joining me in this latest installment of Disturbing Things from Around the Internet. This has been quite a ride.
Alright. Needless to say, I will probably not be sleeping tonight after watching all that. It's 1:33 in the morning. Whoopsies. Good stream. Almost cried like 5 times tonight. Within the span of an hour and a half. Yeah, I might come back with some Kingdom Hearts soon. That's what I'm planning on doing anyway. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.